the second day or something, you do what you do when you want what you want. And that's completely true. We need to, again, remind ourselves of why we are here and what it is that we're doing. And I know that in the very beginning, I said that I thought that this was about vision. I thought that this was about, like bringing in kind of more of like a specific goal that we had, and, and visualizing it and all of those things. But as we've gone through, it's become very clear to me that it's way more about than something like that. It's really about having clarity and certainty and faith in a way of being, in a way of showing up in the world. It's about having faith and certainty in these kind of vast and yet so reliable spiritual laws that operate outside and in conjunction with the physical laws that we have and that we trust and that we rely on every day. That we rely on gravity, and we rely that we can hear, and we rely on all of these things, and we rely on electricity. And what we've been tapping into is our own trust and faith and reliability and awareness and consciousness of this other way of being, this other realm of being, which even in the physical plane, as we've talked about, most of the physical plane isn't even physical. Like 99.99999% of it is nothing. It's literally like electrons popping in and out of existence, which totally blows my mind when I think about that, like how electrons just pop in and out of existence. Like, where do they go? But that's where we're going. We're going into the place where they go when they're just popping in here to say hi. We're going into that place where they go otherwise, where they are otherwise, into this vast, limitless space. And I don't know about you, but especially when we're in meditation, this other realm, this other way of being, the certainty of being, feels very and even more real to me than what's right in front of my face. Like what I can see with my eyes, it feels like natural. It feels like home. It just feels like I've always been there. I always will be there. I've always known about this place. Sometimes my mind gets in the way. And it feels so powerful, and it feels so vast, and it feels so limitless. So that's where we're going, and that's where we're going every day. So I invite you just to close your eyes. I know it's either early or late, so no falling asleep, but if you do, you do. Take a deep breath. And then a long, slow out breath. And then take another deep breath. And then a long, slow out breath. And just continue that pattern of breathing. Each time breathing out. Each time you breathe out. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your body sink further into the chair or the bed, wherever it is that you are. Feel your body getting grounded, rooted, supported. Relax your legs, your feet. Relax your thighs and your sit bones. Relax your stomach. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders and your arms. Relax your neck. Allow it to take your head weightlessly. Relax your jaw, your cheeks. Allow your eyeballs to rest in the sockets. Relax your forehead. And then feel relaxation travel down every single hair on your head all the way to the tip. I want you to imagine yourself standing in a vast, limitless ocean. Everything is calm, serene, and quiet. You notice that you have a body. But your body is moving automatically for you. The body is dancing free. It moves with life. It expresses joy. You're separate from it, yet completely one with it. The ocean that you're standing in is shallow. Yet you know that when you take just a few steps forward, it will become vastly deep. It's filled with mysteries, wisdom, divine truths. It's filled with pearls and gifts and light. And with the carefree abandon of a child and an expert swimmer, you run forward and dive in. Swimming in this ocean is as natural and as easy to you as walking on the land. You effortlessly swim further and further, deeper and deeper. There is more life under here than you could ever imagine. And it is so beautiful. More colors, more light, more shapes, more wonder. It's as if everything says hello to you. Everything greets you with joy. Every drop, every fish, every coral, every shaft of light created for you, meant for you. It is all yours, and at the same time, all shared. You know that you are one with this vast ocean, this vast source of life. You are one with the light, one with all of the life. You are every shape, every color. You are every drop. And as you swim further down, fully safe, fully supported, you see glimmerings from the bottom. Beautiful, catching the light. You swim down and see beautiful clams with the most stunning, amazing pearls you've ever seen. Each pearl is being offered to you. Each one is a source of power, source of wisdom, source of faith, source of certainty, source of love, source of compassion. Each gift is offered to you. They have been in the making for you since time began. And now they are here, now they are yours. And you don't have to carry them. They have no weight. You don't have to lift them. You don't have to figure out how to bring them back to the surface. You don't even have to return to the surface. But if you do wish, you'll notice that these pearls come effortlessly with you. Maybe they shrink down to fit in your pocket. Maybe each pearl turns into a shaft of beaming light or a ball of light, which you are able to fit straight into your heart. Either way, they've always been yours, always destined for you. Know verily that the soul is a sign of God, a heavenly gem whose reality the most learned of men hath failed to grasp, and whose mystery no mind, however acute, can ever hope to unravel. The human soul is exalted above all egress and regress. It is still, and yet it soareth. It moveth, and yet it is still. It is in itself a testimony that beareth witness to the existence of a world that is contingent, as well as to the reality of a world that hath neither beginning nor end. You are as immortal now as you will ever become, and you should begin to live like an immortal being. The soul is the one triumphant, indestructible, and unconquerable thing you possess. Shot from the invisible into this experience, it constitutes your great reality. But why wait for physical death to enjoy and experience your immortal being? Do not prepare to die, prepare to live. Whether you are 10 years old or 100, there is no death. It is impossible for you to die. Stop trying to die and learn to live. You know that life cannot withhold itself from you. All that life is and has is fully given to you to enjoy. Consciously, I draw upon the life that is mine. I know that the fullness of life, which is divine in its origin, eternal in its presence, and forever available, is mine. The life of the eternal spirit is mine. The infinite riches of its being are mine to enjoy. The vitality, the wisdom, and the peace of God are mine. I accept them in fullness, in joy, and in peace. Since the only life you can have is the life of the spirit within you, you need but permit its radiance to flow through your thought into self-expression. You are surrounded by a dynamic force, a great surge of living power. You are immersed in and saturated with the vital essence of life. Its presence permeates everything, binding all together in one complete whole. Knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel this loving protection around me. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. The enlightened ones of the ages have told you that your recognition of life is God within you, recognizing himself in everything you do. There is but one presence in the universe. Since it is in and through everything, it must be in and through you. This presence manifests life in and through all forms, all people, all conditions. The presence of is life itself. Its nature is love and givingness. I know that all times I have a silent, invisible partner walking with me, talking with me, operating through me. I believe with absolute conviction that my word will not return to me void. I know that spiritual laws execute themselves just as do all other laws of nature. I know that my word penetrates my unbelief in my mind, casts out fear, removes doubt, clears away obstacles, permitting that which is enduring, perfect, and true to be realized. I relax and let a power greater than myself work for me, in me, and through me. Now I invite you to consider that each one of these pearls has a message, especially for you, distinctly for you. They are the whisperings of spirit. They are messages from life itself. They have always been there, always lovingly giving, offering, guiding. Just one of these messages has been for you to have faith and trust in yourself. To forget the world and what the world says, and instead listen to that greatness within you, which is more reliable, more trustworthy, which comes from truth, which urges you forward, which is always present and always has been. And I want you to consider each pearl and listen. What is it telling me? What is its message? What am I open to receiving? And then when you're ready, take a few moments and write down whatever it is that you are receiving. Okay, my lovely loved ones. I want to tell you a story, but I don't want to cock it up. I just read it in a book, not last night, must have been the night before. And I absolutely, when there's just something in something that speaks to you so much, and I loved it. And I'll try and explain it without destroying it. But in the early 1900s, there was a man called Abdul Baha who went to America, and he was considered a very holy man, by some Christly. And one of his followers was a lady called Juliet Thompson. She was a painter, a very famous painter, actually. And when she was a child, she said that she came up with this very presumptuous idea that she wanted to paint the Christ. And she told her mom, and like in those days, she probably would have been scolded for it and all of those kind of things. And she doesn't know where she got this idea from, but it completely kind of possessed her as a kid that she wanted to paint the Christ. And when she was then an adult, and Abdul Baha had gone to America, she was one day at the home in which he was staying, and she had to be somewhere at a particular time. She was going to a dinner or something at someone's house, but Abdul Baha went out and he said, "Juliet, stay here until I get back." So she stayed, and it got later and later and later and later and later, and he hadn't returned. It got later and later, and this other lady who was there kept saying to her, "Look, just go. I'll tell him that you had to go. You had this thing that you'd said that you'd be at." And she just decided then just to, in her words, remain obedient. And then he eventually returned quite late, and he said thank you. And just before she was about to leave, he said to her, just turned to her and said, "Juliet, would you like to come and paint me now?" And I sent myself this quote in the book because I loved it so much. She said, "I learned the reward of obedience, such a reward for so small an act of obedience." And what I loved about that was, like as a child, she had wanted to paint the Christ, and all she had done was stayed somewhere when he'd asked her to. It wasn't like a huge thing. It's like this very small request, but she'd been obedient to it, and then she had got this reward that she had like desired since she was a child. And then it said, "Once in Haifa, he said to me, 'Keep my words, obey my commands, and you will marvel at the results.'" And what I love about this story is, for me anyway, it represents this trust and faith and obedience to these spiritual laws that exist, and that we can just do something that seems so little, but we just remain obedient to it. We trust it, we have faith in it, and we do it, and we get the most incredible results. And that's what that spoke to me. That's why I loved it so much.